first thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need a chunk of clay. You're gonna need a rolling pin, and you're also gonna need a container, like a round container, that we're gonna create as our base. So, begin.
How big is it?
How big?
The clay.
Well, we're still gonna try to make it about 4 inches high.
Oh, no, I mean like how much clay should you get?
For the base, I would say about the size of an apple.
Oh.
Or an orange. All right, and then we're gonna start to kind of just almost like you're making like a patty, like a hamburger patty. Then making sure your surface is clean, so kind of cleaning up any of the crumbs. I'm going to place it on the table here, and using the rolling pin, I'm gonna roll it out, knowing I need to roll it out to the width that I can fit the yogurt cup on it, and also keeping in mind a 1/4 of an inch thickness. So you may want to choose to kind of flip it a couple of times as you're rolling it out. All right, I definitely know I'm at that 1/4 of an inch. You could always check with the ruler here. Yep, I am good there. Then you're gonna just place that on top. Ideally, it would be great to have a needle, like a metal needle tool, but I'm just gonna use a sewing tool. This will work just fine. And I'm going to trace and cut, so I'm putting pressure as I trace around my base, so that I have a nice circle. All right, then removing that, I'm gonna have a nice little base. So I'll hand that to you, and you can have this, so that you can start working on that part. All right, I'm just kind of rolling it, not necessary, knowing that we'll be doing a lot of smoothing as we go along. Then you're going to have your already made coils, and you're gonna start to kind of figure out how you want to layer them, and also kind of figuring out how long do you need to make it. Now notice how I am putting that coil and overlapping it and paying attention kind of to where they meet. So then I would then cut there, making it so that it fits nicely, nice and snug here. All right, so I've got my first coil ready to go. Your choice if you wanted to keep measuring and cutting so that you've got them just kind of pre-cut, ready to assemble, and then go into the scoring, slipping, attaching, and smoothing. But something that I want to really emphasize is when you put your next row of coils, you don't want the seam to all line up perfectly. So then you want to kind of stagger it. So notice how I'm kind of layering that at a different spot. Then again, doing the same approach with my coil, where I would just kind of overlap it and then cut it so that it would fit. And then I would just then repeat that process. Maybe I kind of got that one a little bit too long, so I just shortened it. Because I'm going to try to create a cylinder that's really nice and straight up and down. Again, staggering kind of where those seams are going to be this time. And I just keep doing that. Now I think my preference would be to just keep layering them until I got to the 4 inches, and then I would then be in the mode of scoring, slipping, and attaching. All right, so I'm gonna make this my last coil for now. And imagine, so if you are hand building, trying to get up to that 4 inches, it will be our goal still. And I'm at 2.5 inches. And then, so I would keep going till I was at that 4-inch mark. All right, so I'll let you keep work. You can start working with these ones. Oh, here, you can do one of these. All right, and then the next thing is we're going to, I would just kind of carefully take them off, set them to the side, and now I'm gonna go into the scoring. So the first spot I'm gonna score is on the edge of the base, and really give it a good scratching into your clay. And go all around the edge here. You're also going to need a cup of water near you to add a little bit of water to create that slip. And you only need to apply that on one side. And I would be be kind of moderate use of water so that you're not creating a really wet, slippery, muddy, slippy form. You don't want to compromise the clay, so it should look nice and scored around the edges. Then you will also go around and score the edges of your coil.
Only the edges, not the whole thing?
Just the part that's going to touch. You're only going to score the part that's going to touch the other scored portion.
Oh, okay.
So it's just for the bottom of the coil here.
Oh, okay.
You know, trying to create that texture so that the clay can really kind of grab a hold of each other and really go from like 2 pieces of clay to 1. And I would say this is some of the most effort really is going to go into the scoring. This is based, you know, that day 1 wet clay, so it will work nicely together. And so I'm just continuing to score it on the same side. And then in addition to the bottom of the coil, I'm also going to score the edges because they're also going to be meeting one another. All right, then you're going to take a little water and you'll put the water on one edge. I'd put it on the base. Then you will go ahead and then where it's scored, you'll have both sides scored meeting. And then we're going to get that edge together. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a popsicle stick and you're going to basically kind of blend and merge the 2 pieces together. So you're covering your tracks, making it so you do not see that seam where the 2 pieces of clay join. And you're going to do this on the exterior as well as the interior of your cylinder that you are hand building. It's going to be pretty sticky and wet today, so just kind of be patient with that and know that once you wrap it up for over the weekend, the clay is going to firm up. We don't want it to dry out, but then on Monday you'll have the opportunity to smooth it out more before you really get into the applying the black underglaze and beginning to do your sgraffito tracing. So just know that you'll be able to smooth it out. Now the inside's going to be a little harder, especially with this first coil, so I'm just kind of pulling the clay down and covering that seam, knowing that I'll be able to smooth that out more as the clay firms up and kind of starts to transition into more leather hard clay. It's just really wet clay. It's easy to manipulate, but getting it to be a smooth surface is going to take some patience, and it's going to take a little bit of firming up on the clay's part. So initially here, and then I'm going to try to smooth it out the best that I can. So just spend time. I'm going a little faster than you need to go. So the inside, you shouldn't see a seam, and then the outside right now at this point, you're seeing a lot of the popsicle stick marks, but that'll firm up as the clay firms up. So then just repeat that process until you get to the 4 inches. Then definitely leave it on, put it on a bat, and then double wrap it so you've got the plastic wrap going one direction and then going the opposite direction, and tuck the plastic wrap underneath your bat, and then this should set up over the weekend and be ready for you to really smooth it out come Monday. All right.